Hey there, good morning everybody. Good morning, Enchanted Paths of Witchcraft Peoples. This is Dean. The Sunday morning topic is going to be about our book of the month, the complete book of Black Magic and Witchcraft. And this just happens to be come on Easter morning, so happy Easter to you. And we are now in the part 2, Chapter 4, which is called The Mysteries of Goetic Theurgy According to the Lesser Key of Solomon the King. So, when we first start reading this, I'm just going to read from the first paragraph. It's actually very important. It says, the Goetic art of Solomon gives instructions for the evocation of the 72 spirits whom the king of Israel, according to a well-known legend, shut up in a brass vessel and cast into a deep lake. When the vessel was discovered by the Babylonians, it was supposed to contain a great treasure, and was accordingly broken open. The spirits who were thus set at liberty, together with their legions, returned to their former places, Belial excepted, who entered into a certain image and gave oracles to the people of the country in return for sacrifices and divine honors. And then the book goes on to show the different spirits and their images. Okay. Show Baal, Visago, Agaris. The fifth one is Marbas. That's his symbol right there. And I'm going to tell you a story about the time I evoked Marbas. So there's different ways to do this. One of the exciting things about demonology nowadays is that it's really changed from looking at these different Goetic spirits as adversaries and seeing them as allies now. Like they're not somebody that you evoke and have an angel beside you to kind of keep the spirits in line. If they kind of get out of line, you're kind of really invoking them as like allies and friends. And that's like a complete difference to how it was done in like the medieval and the Renaissance eras, when things were done in a more Christian light. Let's see. So I want to show you something. Let me switch the camera around. Okay, this is like an evocation circle right there. There's the circle that the sorcerer conjurer will sit in, and then there's this triangle here. Okay, and that's something I get through. There's a website by Michael Ford, who's a very well-known Luciferian. I'm not Luciferian myself, but the tapestry is very useful. So the circle is a boundary which dates back to like the oldest forms of magical practice, back to like the Babylonian era, when they used to draw a circle and flower on the ground. He says that the flower circle, the circle is not a must, but it is helpful. And it's a boundary which symbolizes self-encirclement, the awakening of one's will and divinity within themselves. The circle should be understood as the essence of self, that is the bridge between the waking and the dreaming, between the celestial and infernal. The circle in this Goetia and within the Luciferian path is not meant to keep something out. It is rather a symbol of the will, and a means to stay focused. Let me switch to this. There are some symbols around like the north, southeast, and west. The north symbolizes Belial, the west Leviathan, the south Rahab, the east Mastema. In the center, that little square there, are the names for Samuel and Lilith. I'm going to switch over to the 3 points with this triangle, and the 3 points of the triangle refer to 3 aspects of Hecate, being a meeting place of spirits often symbolized as the crossroads, which she is very well known for. In that triangle, you can see in the center there's a circle, and that's like a summoning point for the spirit that you will be working with. So, once upon a time, when I decided to work with the spirit Marbas, I did some research, found out what sort of offerings to make for him. What did I use? I had a candle, incense. I think I had some sort of food. I think I might have had chocolate and like a particular kind of alcohol. And that would go in here in this circle. I had the incense burner here, a candle here, and the 2 offerings in those sides. So I would set myself up in this circle. Let's see. I carved his sigil into the candle. I lit that. I lit the incense. There's each spirit has a particular N that you would recite. The one for Marbas is Renish Tasa Ubaraka Biasa Ikar Marbas. And you would kind of repeat that many times until you can kind of feel the energy shift. And while I was doing this, the candle was burning fine. The incense was not really smoking, it was kind of burning. So I had like the incense burner here, the candle here, and you can see they're a good, 8 finger lengths apart. So as the evocation is going, I'm kind of worried because the incense is not really smoking, it's just sort of burning. So I keep going, and all of a sudden, the 2 flames gonna jump up and join from from here up and over down to here, which, fire does not usually do that. So now it's like a burning, flaming rainbow between the incense and the candle. And this goes on for like 5-10 seconds from like freaking out about this like flaming rainbow. And all of a sudden it stops, the candle goes back to its regular burning, and the incense starts to like smoke like a motherfucker. And then I could really feel that the energy in the room had changed. It's like this heavy energy, like kind of like making the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. So then I, made my petition to Marbas, asked him what I wanted as specifically as I could, and kind of finished the ritual, what have you. And the ritual was successful. I did get what I asked for, and later on I made a thank you, a public thanks, and another ceremony where I gave thanks as well. That was my first successful working with one of the goetic spirits.